everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Kiera, and today I'm bringing you a topic that I am so passionate about because this time has been so much more different and a little bit more difficult than what we've ever experienced. The world as a whole is hurting and we're going through some major changes, and this has been so important and just so heavy on my heart. And so I just want to go ahead and talk about this. I'm going to be telling you the most important things to consider when you are searching for a therapist. Now, searching for a therapist, it is like, it's a big thing, right? Because you don't think that every therapist is different. And so you go out there and you find somebody and you think, oh, they're a therapist so they can get me together. That's not always the case, boo. It's just like finding like a good friend or a good boyfriend or a good job even. You have to look at their credentials, you have to look at their experience, you have to look at how personable they are. It's just so many different things, and each and every one of them is so different. So I'm just going to tell you what to look for. First off, let me give this little disclaimer. When I started looking for a therapist, I only wanted a Black woman. It had to be a woman and she had to be Black, and I chose that because I felt like, well, she can relate. She would understand where I come from and the struggles that I've had to face. And while that may be true, I did get some Black woman therapists and they were great, but some things changed with my insurance and I changed states. And so I had to find whatever was available to me at the time because I needed help like immediately, child. So I'm searching, and I kind of let my guard down because what I was looking for was not out there and not readily available. But the therapist that I have been having as of lately has been changing my life, and it's only been a little amount of time. When you are looking for a therapist, you want to make sure that their credentials are exactly what it is that you're looking for. Are you looking for someone who specializes in divorce? Are you looking for someone who specializes in child trauma? Are you looking for someone who specializes in PTSD? What are you looking for exactly? Some of them are experiencing all of that, but look for the person that is specialized in the thing that you are seeking help for the most. The next thing, personally for me, I like to search for people who are experienced. And not to say that younger therapists are not experienced, because I don't know what type of clientele they've had, but something about someone who's a little bit seasoned is like, okay, you've dealt with a lot of different people. You know how to pick up on certain cues. It's just kind of like, you know, that grandmother that is just like, she knows everything because she's seen a lot of things. And again, this is my personal preference, and this is specific to the trauma that I've had. And so I want to make sure that, because I'm so serious about the help that I need, I just like to make sure that the person I'm speaking with knows what to do with me. The next thing that I like to look for is someone who is just very personable and very understanding. I don't know about you, but have you ever experienced going to a therapist or a counselor or whatever it is, and they just want to listen to you talk and they're just writing the whole time, regardless of what session it is? They're just there and they're just writing. I could have went to social media or my friends or my family and just poured out. I'm coming to you because I want you to give me feedback. And I've experienced, you know, that type of situation to where I am just talking. And while it felt good to dump, I wanted something back to just say, okay, this is what you can do, or this is what I noticed in you, so this is the activities that we'll do to get you better. Like, you want someone to engage. You want someone to say, oh wow, you know, that's hard. That's not an easy thing. I can understand your trauma. When someone tells you that they understand your trauma, you're like, oh, you know, good, because everybody else just made me feel like, oh, you're just a damaged little girl, and we'll do what we can. Another thing that I like to look for when I am searching for a therapist, or when I found my therapist, is them being very educated about what the brain does. So sometimes I require like a little bit more education, but education along with experience is very important. But when I saw my new therapist and I started to explain to her what I was experiencing during, you know, anxiety or panic or whatever it is, she was very knowledgeable about what my body was doing and explaining to me why my body is doing what it's doing, and my muscles this and my brain that, and then, you know, my heart this and the nerves that, and all of these different things is really making me feel like, okay, I can trust that she knows what she's talking about, because I hadn't had a therapist that talked to me about what is going on in my body and what I can do to fix that. Because for one, you can't fix something that you don't understand. And so that just was super duper important to me, that this is a person that understands what trauma is. These are actual wounds. actual wounds that have changed the chemical makeup of your brain. And luckily, they're there to help you reconstruct or renew or remold what has happened to you. Another thing that I really, really, really think that is so important for you when you are searching for a therapist is a therapist that encourages you and helps you to understand that your sickness or your anxiety or whatever it is that you want to call this, it can be healed. It can be worked through. I don't think that anyone means any harm by this when they say this, but I've had several therapists say, this does not go away. You'll deal with this forever, but I'll just show you better ways to cope with it. You'll just always experience this. And while I can understand that, and I understood it while I was there, it didn't give me hope and it didn't make me want to fight more, because it's just like, if I'm going to be dealing with this all the time, why am I here? Why am I paying you? When your therapist tells you things like, oh, I know what to do about this. Oh, I've trained here for this amount of time and I've seen this work on people and I've experienced clients get better and I've seen people do a 100% turnaround based on these methods that I'm showing you. I've seen the results. There is healing for this. There are people who have been through way more than you. There are people who have been on medication for years. There are people who have had extreme PTSD and have suffered through the war and have seen crazy things happen, and they have turned around their lives based on these certain types of treatments. So I felt extremely confident, because when someone tells you that there is an answer for something, and I am a believer, I'm a Christian, so I know that God can reverse anything. God is miraculous and he can change anything around. He can help the blind see. So I know that something like this, just experiencing childhood trauma or whatever type of trauma I've ever experienced, that can be healed too. But when someone doesn't show you that they have faith in treatment for you, it's kind of just like, well, I'm not really safe. I don't feel safe coming to therapy with you if you know, or if you're telling me that there's no way out of this for me. I don't believe that, and so therefore I gotta move on to the next therapist, because baby, it just don't work. Just like with the job, if you don't like something about your job, if you're not happy there, if you don't like your manager, if you just don't like the way that you feel when you go, you have every single right to change your situation. And so I am so grateful, because this therapist that I have, she's so confident in herself, and she always says, oh, I can help you with that. I mean, not to sound cocky, but I can help you with that. I've done it before. I've seen it happen before. And so if you do these activities, if you do them just as I've told you to do them, if you are consistent with your own healing, because healing it's a two-way street, right? You have the healer and you have the person being healed. You have to be accepting of it. And so I have just been opening myself up for healing, and I want you to do the same. And I want you to find someone who helps you feel confident about your healing. There is an answer to all of your problems. And just make sure that the person that you're speaking with is on tune with you. Don't let anyone try to sway you and change your spirituality, because that's not what they're there for. Don't allow someone to just, jump you into something that you're not truly really believing in or feeling. Like, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is acknowledge that you have an issue, seek help, but make sure that the therapist that you're looking for has all of those qualities that you're looking for. It's so important. You don't want someone to just sit there and just nod their head and just treat you like you're just, like you're talking to a wall. Like, that's just not what therapy is. So I hope that those tips were amazing for you. I hope that you wrote those down, and make sure that you just check out all of the resources. If you're looking for a Black therapist and you are a Black woman, there is a website called Therapy for Black Women. All you do is put in your zip code, and then boom, there's Black therapists all in the area. If you're just looking for anybody, BetterHelp is an option. Teladoc is an option. You have all of these different things that allows you to have virtual therapy. So just check all of that out. Pray on it. That's another thing. Pray. Before you start searching, pray that God leads you to someone who is serious about your healing, because that's important too. Make sure that the person that you are going to is really excited for you to be healed, not someone who is just there to collect a coin, baby. Because listen, if I wanted somebody to just listen to me talk all day long, I would just call anybody on the phone, or I would just be on YouTube every single day talking to this camera. That's not what I want. I want true healing. So get serious about your healing, pray about your healing, and then go start to seek, and honey, you will find. I promise you, don't give up on your therapy search. Make sure that you talk to your benefit providers about, what are the best options for you, considering, what your payment or copay may be, whatever. Just make sure that you get out there. And if you cannot afford therapy, I strongly advise that you seek self-help books, that you hop on YouTube and you search for all of the resources that you can. Every channel that talks about mental illness, healing, anxiety, panic disorder, whatever it is, you have to be serious about your seeking. You have to be serious about your healing as well. You know, sometimes it's really, really hard and you just want to just lay there and just, you know, just give into it. But if you honestly seek true healing for yourself, I promise you doors will open for you, and you will begin to find that people will start to draw themselves to you. People will start to magnetize to you and offer you healing that you didn't even know that you needed. So I know that, you know, sometimes it's hard because we don't always have the means to pay for therapy. I mean, it's not a cheap service. But your mental health is worth every single second you spend seeking for help. So please just do that. YouTube is free. YouTube is free. When I couldn't afford it, I was on YouTube, where I was reading a book about it. I was journaling. I was talking to friends. I was doing all these different activities that I know would help me through, and it helped me through that time. And I'm here today, and I'm able to have therapy for myself, and I still get therapy. So be vigilant. Be very, very serious about your healing, and it will come. Don't let nobody tell you that you will have to deal with this forever, because you do not have to deal with being afraid forever. You do not. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Please let me know how your search is going. I wish you the best. Have a good day and enjoy your weekend.